Okay, if we're going to calculate the cost of trade credit, say that they're using a vendor that has terms of 3% if they pay in 5 days or net in 60. So when we calculate the cost of that trade credit, the formula is that we take our discount percent, which in this case would be the 3, and we put it over top of the complement of that discount. So if you remember back to business analysis with algebra, the complement is 100% minus the discount. So in this case, that would be 97. So the 3% over the 97%. And again, I can make these percentages, or you could put them in as decimals. That looks like another 7. Okay, then we multiply that times our 365 days, which represents a full year, divided by the difference between the discount when they received, they're able to take their discount in 5 days, and then they don't, if they chose to forego that discount, they'd have until day 60 to pay. So the difference between these 2 days, so in this case, that would be 55. So then we set the formula up like that, and then you can solve this formula mathematically a couple different ways. The way I do it is I just multiply on the top, so I take 3% or 0.03 times 365, and then that gives me 1095. And then on the bottom, I take 97% or 0.97 times 55, and that gives me 53.35. Then I solve, I divide those. So if I take 10.95 divided by 53.35, that gives me 0.2052, basically goes on and on. So let's round it to 1 decimal point. So that's the same as having credit of 20.5%, or that's the cost of that credit. So in the problem, if they then say, okay, well, if they need to borrow the money to take the discount and they can borrow at a rate of 10%, so that would be our interest cost, they would be better off taking the discount. So because this is higher, they would be better off to borrow and take the cash discount. Okay, so that would be our ultimate goal. And that's normally what they're having us do. We're looking at it to say, well, what would be the cost of this trade credit that we're receiving? We compare it to what the bank is going to charge us in interest. And as long as this percentage is higher, then the answer is we would be better off to borrow that money and to take the cash discount. And then we could solve for that mathematically if we wanted to. So we could clear this and say, okay, we're saving 3%. So say we bought $100,000 worth of product. So $100,000 worth of product, and we paid in those 5 days. So we would be saving $3,000 by taking that cash discount. So then if we save $3,000, so we come to our interest formula. So interest equals principal times rate times time. And then we solve for the interest that we would have to pay. So we would need to borrow the $97,000. So we wouldn't have to borrow the whole $100,000, because if we take it in those 5 days, we're only paying $97,000 at a rate of 10% for the difference in those days, which would be the 55 days. So then now if we simplify that, so we take our 97,000 times 10% or 0.1 times 55 divided by 365, that gives us $1,461.64. So again, we're going to compare. So here we get a $3,000 cash discount. Here we pay the bank in interest. The difference, though, is still money ahead. So we come over here and say, okay, well, we still, if we subtract these, that gives us $1,538.36 total savings. So again, if we're going to compare these interests, my highlighter is kind of crazy. We compare that interest to this cash discount, and we say, okay, look, we are money ahead. We're going to save $1,538.36 if we borrow the money to take the cash discount.